Welcome to weekly forecast of Nifty top 10 stocks and major indexes. Today we are going to discuss about the top 10 stocks according to their weightages and Nifty, Bank Nifty along with gold, silver, Bitcoin and USD INR. So we'll begin with the gold. What is the possible trend for next week? Gold, if you see in hourly chart, it has able to prove the high and consolidated, and it is on the trend line. So it may go one more up before it can go any further down. So just removing everything so that it can visibly clear. Now, if you see this last part, which is presently going on, if at the time wise, if I'm seeing this is like 100% of the time, which completes here 30th of August, means from Monday. If it is like not a gap down or going below that, it will be like a good sign that some structure is started, a new thing, that is 1 2 3 4, maybe at the end of it's a 5, and it may be A, B, and C. After that, it may go one up before it can go any further down. So look for the buy in case of gold, not to sell, because it is on the trend line. Kind of, if I go a little bit higher side, this may take a support here. It is until and unless it goes below the 1725. So no need to sell in case of gold. So look for the buy setup in case of gold for next week. It may go come a little bit towards 1715 or something, but again it may go towards 1810 once again. So look for the buy, not to sell in case of gold. Silver. So we earlier spoke regarding this. So minimum it will come to the level of 38%. That has done, that is a 61% of this total fall. And now it came down one more time. So now what will be the possible structures? Just removing everything and adding the fresh channel here. It may take a support here. The structure which here was making some triangular or neutral triangular structure. So that is the reason we were expecting this, and minimum structure which was there for this downside move is 60%. So 60% is this, and after that it is coming down. So now in case of silver, you may expect one more down before it can go any further up or further down. So or some consolidation, or if it goes straight to this and it came come down a little bit and go upside. So as of now, in case of silver, look for the sell setup, not to buy. Crude oil. The earlier week we discussed this. If it is a triangular structure, it may come one down before it can go any further up. But if it is going above this, it will be going to go for higher side. But it did not move above this. It made a structure that of the triangle and move down. Now I'm just removing everything so that it will be clear to next week. So what is a possible structure? If I see this whole structure, it's somewhere around this. It has broken, but not in like a two-stage confirmation. According to the two-stage confirmation, it has not broken in lesser time. So for me, this is again a downtrend, not a uptrend, because this downside, if you compare and this, if you compare this move, it is taking more time compared to this visually. So it may go one up, and after that, if it consolidates, then it go, or else it will be going one down before it can go any further up. So in case of a crude oil, you can look for the very short term buy, maybe to the 98 or 100 USD. Then it may come down to the 87 or below that before it can go any further up. So for short term resistance, it may go up to the level of this, that is 94 or 95 in case of crude oil. USD now, as discussed earlier, like this is A and B, we may come one down before it can go any further up. So the structure is still remains the same. If you see this whole downside move, it's a faster, and again this is a slower compared to this one. So we may see one up like this, and after that we may see one down before it can go any further up. The fall is a kind of this we may expect here, maybe less or higher. Maybe like if it is a triangular structure, then it will be like this kind of a structure, but you can expect some upside moment, but don't buy in case of USD. Use this 80, 81 level or 82 level to sell for 79 and below 78 and 40. So look for sell setup in case of USD, not to buy. Bitcoin, as earlier said, like here, it has broken the structure. So it is fallen now. Now it is will be A and B. It will be going to go for the C. So look for the sell setup in case of Bitcoin for a short term 18,500 or something. Then we may go one up. But before that, we may expect 18,500 or even 17,200 in case of Bitcoin before it can go any further up. So look for sell setup in case of Bitcoin, not to buy. Nifty. So earlier week we were expecting this. So we were somewhere around this point, maybe at the level of 15,000 or 16,000. We expected this total rise to 80%. It may be visually 80% here, 17,400. I'll check with the Fibonacci. Yeah, it is exactly near 17,400 or something. So here we were expecting it to fill the gap, and it does, and it went upside. Now something structurally has changed here. What is that? If you see this upside move, maybe from this, see here, it has broken the low in lesser time, right? This is the time which took for the upside, and this is the downside. So this is a very crucial sign for sell setup. So if you go a little bit higher also, that's fine, but we may see one down, or from here if it goes, it will be going to go for the downside. So we may expect in case of Nifty, there is a correction. It will come maybe towards 15,200, 17,200, and to the level of 16,910 also. The overall structure is a kind of a neutral or a triangular as of now, or it may be making the diameter pattern. So I'm keeping this as a lower side. And if I see this Fibonacci here, we may expect some fall to the level of 16,930. That is the minimum, 31.8, and 50% is 16,918. And if you see here, this will be like 50 to 38% we may expect in case of Nifty. So look for the sell setup, not to buy in case of Nifty for next week. Bank Nifty. So earlier we were expecting the similar thing. So I said like here it may come to the level of this point or this point. It does both. So now if I add a one channel here, it's fine. One more from the downside, fine. And here if I see the structure here in case of Bank Nifty, if you compare the Nifty, that is taking more time. But here, if you see here, the time and this time are looking similar, or maybe 120% or 150% of this total fall. So we may see some triangular pattern here in case of Bank Nifty before it can go any further up or further down. So I won't be expecting a faster fall until and unless it gives a sign of like whatever the time it took, and lesser time if it is breaking the 38,000 level, then we may expect some fall to the level of 36,000. But if it is not falling and going like consolidation zone, so we may expect one buy after this. After this means after the consolidation over, or it may be taking a support at the level of these areas. Yeah, that's fine. So that is the trend line. So if it is not crossing, we won't be looking for the sell. But if it is coming slowly and going above, we may expect one more buy before it can go any further. Internal, sorry, remaining stocks according to the wattages, top 10 in case of Nifty 50. HDFC Bank, we expected 50% and 61%. So it has done. So now possibly it won't be going downside, maybe a little bit like this, or if it is a faster kind of this structure, we may expect that to kind of here, because if you see this whole structure, it's a downside and it's a slower upside. So we may expect some up and down before it can go any further up or further down. So look for a very small buy, maybe towards 29, 25 to 90. Then we may expect some sell. Then it may go upside. So as of now, look for the sell setup in case of HDFC. What about HDFC Bank? So HDFC Bank, we discussed this like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, a structure of diametric here. So we may see 61% or 80% of the structure. But again, it is a slower kind of structure. If you see here, this is the one. So slower form. So again, if I see this structure, this is a little bit faster. But if you see this one, means it has started some down move. We may expect some big down before it can go any further down, maybe towards 1343. So look for selling in case of HDFC Bank, keeping 1530 as a stop loss towards 1343. Hindustan Unilever, we earlier said like here, we may see the 80% that has done, that is 2640. And we're moving now. Again, a slower form. A, B, and C, which is again a slower form. So we may go a little down, one more up, and one more down. Can be possible, but overall structure is for the downside only. If you see, this is a slower one, but again, this is a slower one. The possible structure is a triangle or flat. To flat, it has to take a more time, but I'm expecting a structure that is a triangle in case of Hindustan Unilever. So it may come down to the 20, 2380 or near 2460, then it may go towards 2856 once again. Or if it is a two structures, then it may come to the level of this to making the structure that is a flatter triangle. Okay, so look for cell setup in case of HUL for a very short term. HCL, sorry, ICICI Bank, we said look for the buy setup at least to the 80%, that is 830 or 840. Now it has topped it and removing everything. See the beauty of this structure. This we earlier said like here, this is a making structure that of the ABC kind. The simple ABC structure can be possible. With this, we can go for 61% or 161%. This is 161% level. But if you look the overall movement, if you compare this total consolidation which happened in between October October 21 to now, it was very longer time. Now it is going for the upper side. So look for the buy setup, not to sell in case of ICICI Bank, because it may go towards 986 or something, because the overall structure is still remains in the buy side. I'm just adding new. And until and unless it broke this structure, we won't be looking for the sell. So it is a daily chart. So we may expect some consolidation. That's fine, but we may see one up before it can go any further up or further down. So look for buy in case of ICICI Bank, not to sell. Infosys, we said earlier, like here it may come and it has happened. Now it is going downside, so it may come and take a support towards 1475. So look for sell in case of Infosys, not to buy as of now. ITC, we said exactly to that point. This has done brilliantly. If you can see here the structure, and I said at least it will go to 61%. So that has done now. Now what you need to see, whatever the structure which is presently running, it is not like going faster, it is exhausted. Here, you see this end part. Is fine, and this moment, or this is fine again. So again, this moment. So you may expect some up kind of these and one fall before it can go any further up. So a small correction can be expected in case of ITC, and after that you may go one more buy, because this is like A and B which is presently running on. So it may correct little bit, that's fine. again it may go one more up. So that makes structure of ABCD or 1 2 3 4 and 5. So as of now, you can, if you bought already, go on trialing the stop loss, or if you get any sell according to the two-stage confirmation, you can look for the sell in case of ITC. Kotak, they said look for the buy, and it went to the level of 1934. So what will be the possible structure here? Again, like a triangle or a flat. So before it can go any further up, we may expect some fall. So look for buy up to the level of 1980 or something. Then we may correct a little bit before it can go any further up or further down. LNT expected 80%, so that has done now. So structurally, it is looking quite good. So we won't be looking sell in case of LNT. So you may get some little bit correction and go towards 2079. So look for the buy setup, not to sell. If it is coming towards 1698 also, the structure will be remain same, like neutral triangle or a triangle. So look for buy, not to sell in case of LNT. This two-way structure, maybe it going for this, or if it is going this also, that's fine. It's a neutral triangle or triangle. The lines, yeah, we may see 2731 before it can go any further down or further up. But if it is crossing this trend line, so we may see some downside moment, because yeah, it is near the trend line. If it is below 2582, we may see some sell, or else we may see one more buy. That will complete 1 2 3 4 and 5, a short fifth wave, and then go downside. That will be matching to this also. Then we may see sell, but as of now, we can look for the buy, a smaller buy, maybe to a 2703 or 2704. TCS, as structurally it hasn't changed much, so it is making that neutral triangle structure only. If you see this is 1 2 and 3, it's slower downside again to go upside. So we may see some selling pressure in case of TCS towards 3116 and 3156 before it can go any further up. So Bajaj Finance, structurally hasn't changed much. So we can look for the buy setup for 8054. It may come towards this very smaller time, then it go towards 8050. So look for the buy, not for the sell. This is for the next week. Before taking any financial decisions, please do take your experts' advice. This video is only made for educational purpose. Please do share among your family and friends if you find this video useful. Thank you. Thanks a lot, everyone. Take care, guys. Bye bye.